Assalamualaikum. Okay, so today we're going to present about human resource planning. Okay, so what is human resource planning? According to Robbins, human resource planning is the process by which management ensures that it has the right number and kinds of people at the right places and at the right time who are capable of effectively and efficiently completing those tasks that will help the organization achieve its overall objective. In other words, human resource planning is responsible for arranging from all available sources the right people for the right job, and not only that, it also anticipated the vacancy that arise as a result of employees' promotion, transfer, retirement, terminations, and etc. But what does it mean by that? So, as far as we all know that human resource is the organization's most important asset, while human resource planning is a systematic process of forecasting both the prospective demand and the provisions of manpower and the use of skills with the organization's goal. So it can also be called the method of reviewing the necessity of manpower to ensure the organization is given the right kind of skills. Human resource planning also allows firms to plan ahead so that they can maintain a steady supply of skilled workers. Therefore, it is also referred to as planning of the workforce. The process is also used to help companies evaluate their needs and plan ahead to meet those requirements. Okay, so for the next slide is objective of human resource planning. So human resource planning also required to meet the objective, which is to ensure optimal use of human resource currently employed, to ensure that necessary resources are available as and when required, and to forecast future skill requirement to serve as a basis for training and development programs. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so we're going to the next part, which is the importance of human resource planning. Okay, just as we know, planning is important in our daily life, and so plannings also play a big part in every human resource department in an organization. Okay, so there are several important of human resource planning, and they are all equally important. So before we go through a deep discussion, I just going to list one by one about the importance of human resource planning. So the first one is the helps in achieving the organizational objective. Second one is ensuring sufficient supply of manpower. Third one is the basis for other human resource concept, and the last one is the foster the impact of change and human resource requirement. Okay, we go through the first point. So the first point said that planning helps in achieving the organizational goals. So in order to support achieving the organization goals, it can help in analyzing the current position of organization, achievement and targets. So what planning did is, planning will help the organization to know that where they stand, how long does it take for them to achieve their goals, what does it take for them to achieve their goals. So it helps for getting the awareness of the organization management team so that organization can achieve its aims. And through this, all management and department in the organization will coordinate with the human resource department in completing their tasks and also in making the decision. Okay, going to the second point, which is ensure a sufficient supply of manpower. Okay, what does it really means with the sufficient supply of manpower? It means that the organization know how many that they need, when that they need, and how that they get the supply of the manpower. And through planning, it can ensure the employment of proper number and type of personnel that required in the organization. Okay, next, why does planning is important? Because it is the basis for other human resource concept. So, as we know, planning is the first step in human resource management function. And I said before that planning is vital in our daily life. So, it's just the same in the human resource concept, where planning is the first step, and the first step is important as it is the decider to know that is it the next move or the next process will be successful or not. And since it is the first step in all human resource management function, so human resource planning are the guidance in providing all those required information for the other human resource management function like recruitment, selection, safety, and healthy, and also job analysis. Okay, the last point from me is planning helps in forestall the impact of change and the human resource requirement, where it adapting with the new changes. So, what does it mean is, okay, I give you a simple example where changes in business environment like the government laws, international markets, competition, and technology brings change in the nature of the job. So this means that they'll need in change of demand of personnel, content of a job, qualification, and experience needed in order to sustain their business. So with human resource planning, it helps the organization in adapting with new changes.
Now, we proceed to the example of strategy in ensuring that the companies have a sufficient number of qualified employees. Basically, strategic human resource planning ensures adequate staffing to meet the organization's operational goals, matching the right people with the right skills at the right time. The strategic human resource planning process begins with an assessment of a current staffing, including whether it is fits the organization needs, and then moves on the forecasting future staffing needs based on the business goals. So, what is the strategic staffing? Strategic staffing is a kind of staffing strategy where an organization creates a sustainable plan to address any staffing concerns for now and in the future. Staffing is an ongoing process. It does not involve the initial requirement step, but it goes way beyond that to include how the company manage and retain a competent and satisfied workforce, fit for purpose, in the right roles and the right time to meet the company goals. There are several steps in strategic staffing. The first one is identification, which is to identify the positions needed. The company needs to understand the skills, experience, and resources required to achieve the company goals. Knowing what positions are crucial and temporary. The company needs to decide whether a position should be added, removed, or combined. Also, it has to take it into consideration the company's financial capabilities and work around it. To maximize the efficiency of the requirement process, it also needs to consider the timeline of activities required to fulfill each role and plan accordingly. For example, like what roles do you need, what's the time frame for the full productivity, and so on. Now, we move to the second step, which is recruiting. After identifying the positions needed, the company needs to start to scout for the right people who will fill in those positions. Again, the company's budget will play a role in the requirement process. Staffing is all about hiring the right people with the right skills at the right time. Committed, motivated, qualified employees help the company achieve its purpose. Hiring the wrong person is a poor use of resources for recruiting and orienting a new staff member. Plus, the cost is compounded when a hiring mistake erodes employee morale, disrupts the office, and perhaps even causes a valued employee to quit. Now, I will proceed to the next presenter.
Thank you to the presenter. Next, I will present the next step of strategic staffing. The next step is development. Development implies opportunity created to help employees' growth. Once the company have made their choice, they need to start training the employees. Whether the employees are experienced or beginner, they have to undergo training to align themselves with the mission and vision of the company. Employee skills should be developed to ensure that they are strategically prepared. Development concerns itself with preparing people for future assignment and responsibilities. The last step is retention. After going through the process of looking for the new employees, hiring them and training them, the company has to be up to the challenge of retaining them. The company has to take care of the talent that they have developed. Retention refers to the abilities of the organization to retain the employees. Retention plan will reduce the turnover rate. How the company can maintain the talented employees? The company can maintain the talented employees by giving them some reward, such as promotion. It can help the employees feel that they have values. By giving some reward, the company can ensure that the employees will be loyal to them. That's all from me. Next, I will pass it to the next presenter. Thank you.
Okay, next, I would like to present about the consequences of heavy indicate human resources of strategy. There are four of it, which are firstly, the highest employee turnover, excessive workload, dissatisfied customer, and last one, decreased productivity. Employee turnover actually costs a lot of precious time and money, as it was a result of losing a lot of staff, which is normally staff we directly say that as their main production for in one organization to make sure that I can give a better service and product to the organization. Well, if the number of employee turnover is higher, people or maybe another party assume that the organization is a terrible place to work. This higher turnover, employee turnover actually may be due to the factor that the employee itself feel unmotivated, since that human resources fail to make out a plan, fail to make out strategy that suitable and properly for their employee. This is because the employee itself doesn't feel any belongingness at the workplace. The belongingness sense is very important, as the employee feel they are very needed, be appreciated, and their services and the production given receive a better reward or better appraisals. When the employee itself feel motivated, they can do well, they can then do well, give such a great quality product, and none will that benefit the organization itself. There are many ways to overcome that this demotivated of employee, which are give themselves a reward, bonus, by give them the holiday, a present, and as. This is very important. When they feel the loneliness, the number of employee turnover will slowly increase, and there are many, and soon there will be the loyal employee that will stay and keep give the better services to the organization. Next, the extensive workload. If the human resources department fail to give the work task according to their capability and skillful, many of the other employee tend to burn out in this kind of situation. What I mean was, there are one employee, maybe a little amount of employee having do the work given more even a lot of work and more than their capability is safe. This situation made the employee to do their work outside of the place and during the office time. What I mean was that since they can't do their work during the office time or at the workplace, they tend to hold those works at home or maybe they do during the holiday. This actually contribute to the stress, burnout, and pressure for the employee itself. Why I'm saying that, they not only do a lot of work at the same time, but they have a deadline that they need to catch up and do on that time. As they do their work during their holiday or their own personal time, they tend to having a unhealthy lifestyle that can affect their healthy, as they doesn't have enough time to sleep, enough time to rest, and doesn't have time to take care of their health. The human resources department should carefully plan and emphasize their employee freedom. This is because when the employee have enough time to finish up their work, or maybe give the works according to capability, not passing a lot of work into one person, the employee can finish up the task with the highest quality and thus improve their productivity itself, and also they will be very happy and also can take care of their health, as it's very important to make sure they can keep going to work at the organization. Next, I would like to pass it up to Ruhil.
Next, the consequences of having inadequate human resource planning strategies can result in dissatisfied customers. Poor human resource planning can make you have dissatisfied customers. Many businesses today have gone online, so if you are not performing well, there are chances users will prefer to complain publicly about your poor human resource, customer service, product and services on your online pages. A good number of consumers today won't buy from companies that have complaints unintended to. There are some customers who will never complain publicly and simply stop doing business with you. So to ensure you don't have dissatisfied customers, make sure you address their issues properly by attending to their complaints. Do not be afraid to complaints, as they can serve you as a source of learning. They can show you areas you need to improve and where you are getting it right or wrong. If your internal human resources are not handling their work with professional finesse, you can either send them to human resource training or engage in human resource outsourcing service provider. Next, a decrease in productivity may also be from the result of having inadequate human resource planning strategies. Poor human resource planning can have a dangerous effect on the productivity of your organization. Unproductive employees will not be engaged in their specific job responsibilities or duties. Some of the things that lead to an unproductive workplace are lack of change, lack of motivation, and poor management strategies. Effective human resource team ensures that both the employers and employees are engaged with the right training and resources that will enable them to meet their corporate goals. There will be a decline in employee productivity if the human resource fails to implement workplace morale and effective management training. The Human Resource Department is charged with ensuring managers have the training and resources necessary to meet the needs of employees in order for them to increase their productivity in an organization.
Okay, let's move to the last slide for the conclusion. The process of human resource planning is vital in assessing both the current and future personnel needs of an organization in terms of quantity as well as quality. It is a fundamental process that directly links human resource activities to the organizational plans and objectives. Furthermore, this process cautions organizations from different challenges by preparing it for different factors, external and internal, that may affect its activity. So it should be taken serious considering that it determines the successful implementations and achievement of an organization's objective and goals. Thank you.